Oh my gosh.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
You are
Truly,
such a gift.
you brought such light into the room. Thank you very much
We
for
appreciate
coming
you.
into this room.
We need to talk about Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Not in a clickbait way, not in a they're secretly dating way, but in a why does every single clip of them together feel like something is slightly wrong way.
Okay, serious question. Is Cynthia and Ariana Grande, are they
Because at this point, it's not just one interview, it's not one emotional moment, it's not one awkward clip that went viral and then disappeared, it's all of it, over and over, for months, across countries, across press tours, across different interviewers, and the pattern never really changes. This all really kicked off during the Wicked press cycle. At first, people were excited. Ariana Grande stepping into musical theater again, Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba. Big roles, big expectations, long shoot, pandemic delays, everything you'd expect to create a close bond. So when the first interviews dropped and they were emotional, people brushed it off. End of a long project, totally normal. But then it kept happening. And it didn't just keep happening, it escalated. In interview after interview, Ariana looks like she's barely holding herself together. She struggles with small physical things, her dress, her necklace, a microphone, a water bottle, even just standing still. And every single time, Cynthia steps in. She adjusts things mid-sentence. She touches Ariana's arm, her back, her hands. She fixes her clothes without asking. She finishes her thoughts. She watches her constantly. Not casually, not occasionally, constantly. Once you notice it, it becomes impossible to ignore. You start waiting for it. You know it's coming. Ariana hesitates. Cynthia moves, and that's when it starts feeling less like friendship and more like a role.
And can y'all just stop making it harder than what it really is? Because it's very simple. They're in a non-Demi Lovato, Curious George, semi-bi-curious relationship.
Cynthia is the protector. Ariana is the delicate one, and that dynamic is reinforced everywhere. On red carpets, in sit-down interviews, during premieres, even in chaotic public moments. There's that clip from the Singapore premiere where a fan rushes Ariana.
Dreamed about meeting Ariana Grande, and finally my dreams became true.
Cynthia immediately steps in front of her and physically pulls the fan away. That moment alone, completely justified. Security should have been there. Cynthia did what anyone would want a friend to do. But the reason it sticks out is because it fits too neatly into everything else. Because even when there's no danger, Cynthia behaves like Ariana needs shielding. There's another moment where a producer grabs Ariana's arm excitedly during a group interview. Ariana looks confused. Cynthia instantly pulls her away, cradles her arm, leans into her, kisses it. The interview keeps going like this is totally normal. It's not. And the touching is relentless. Holding hands, gripping arms, fixing hair, adjusting jewelry, leaning heads together, clutching during answers that are not remotely emotional. People keep calling it sisterhood, but sisterhood doesn't usually look this anxious. Then there's the crying. They cry over everything. Not once, not twice, constantly. Sometimes one of them starts crying and the other one immediately follows, like it's contagious. Sometimes they cry before anything emotional is even said. There's an interview where they're asked to say something nice about each other. Instead of a normal compliment, it turns into a near breakdown. They can barely get the words out. They talk about each other like they're at a farewell ceremony. They keep saying things like, "I hope you'll be in my life forever. It's been the privilege of my life." We found pieces of ourselves in each other. This is during press for a movie, not a terminal illness, not a war, not a tragedy, a movie. And that's where people start getting uncomfortable because the reaction does not match the situation. Then there are the tattoos. Not one matching tattoo, several. They got "for good" tattooed on their palms so that the words touch when they hold hands. They got poppies for the fields of Oz. They got hearts with each other's initials on their legs. And then there's a fourth tattoo they refuse to describe, only calling it intense. Again, grown women, co-workers, even close friends. That level of symbolic permanence is unusual. It starts to feel less like bonding and more like emotional enmeshment. And then there's Ariana herself. Ariana Grande has always shifted her persona depending on the era. She's done it her entire career. But this version of Ariana is particularly striking. Her voice is higher, softer. Almost childlike, her body language is apologetic. She moves carefully, she speaks like she's afraid of taking up space. This shift happened right after a very public cheating scandal that completely damaged her image. Suddenly she's delicate again, sweet, fragile, almost innocent. That's not an accident, and Cynthia fits perfectly into this version of Ariana's narrative. She becomes the caretaker, the stable one, the grounded one, the one who keeps everything together. But here's the thing, Cynthia doesn't seem grounded. She cries just as much. She clings just as hard. She speaks in the same heightened emotional language. She mirrors Ariana constantly. That mirroring is important. People who've struggled with eating disorders, intense stress, or emotional dysregulation keep pointing out the same thing. When two people in that state spend a lot of time together, they can escalate each other. And that brings us to the weight loss. This is where everyone starts tiptoeing, but it's impossible not to notice. Both Ariana and Cynthia have lost a significant amount of weight. Other cast members did too. Michelle Yeoh looks dramatically thinner. Jeff Goldblum talked about changing his diet. The director reportedly influenced people toward veganism. Individually, none of this proves anything. Together, under extreme pressure, it raises questions. Ariana has addressed body comments publicly, saying people shouldn't speculate about her health. She's not wrong, but that doesn't change the visual reality people are reacting to. Her frame now looks fragile, not naturally thin. Fragile. People with lived experience keep saying the same thing. Emotional volatility, constant crying, intense attachment. Those are common when your body is underfed and under stress. Your nervous system can't regulate. Everything feels overwhelming. Safety gets attached to people instead of stability, which might explain why Ariana and Cynthia cling to each other like lifelines. There's also a performative element that's hard to ignore. These moments keep Wicked trending. Every awkward clip gets millions of views. People dissect them, react to them, make memes, write threads. The relationship itself becomes part of the marketing, whether intentional or not. At some point, it stops being clear where the real emotions end and the performance begins. When Cynthia lost her voice and skipped interviews, Ariana skipped them too in solidarity. That was framed as sweet. It was also another example of how intertwined they've become. Nothing happens independently. And the biggest red flag of all is how normalized this is being framed. Fans defend it aggressively. Critics are accused of being cruel. Any discomfort gets brushed off as, you don't understand theater people, or women supporting women. But support usually makes people steadier. This dynamic looks like it makes them more unstable. I don't think this is romantic. I don't think it's fake. I don't think either of them is evil. I think it's two very talented women under insane pressure, losing their footing at the same time and grabbing onto each other because nothing else feels solid. And that's why it's uncomfortable to watch. Because it doesn't look cute. It doesn't look empowering. It looks fragile. And fragility, when it's being broadcast constantly to millions of people, invites scrutiny whether anyone likes it or not. Maybe once the press tours end, this intensity will fade. Maybe distance will help. Maybe we'll look back on this and say, wow, that was a rough time. Or maybe this is just another example of how Hollywood rewards vulnerability until it turns into spectacle. Either way, something about Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo together doesn't feel healthy. And I want to know if you feel it too. Do you see closeness? Or do you see codependency? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy long-form celebrity breakdowns that sit in the uncomfortable gray area, subscribe.